All right, gentlemen, welcome to Morning Coffee Talks. Cheers. This morning, we'll start off by saying you don't know what you don't know, right? That's how it goes. So, this morning we're going to talk about a little bit about the father wound, all right? So, I'm a father of two. I got two sons. So, I'm very passionate about that too, being a father. Obviously, the men's accountability and whatnot. Obviously, working out. But father wounds. So what we're going to talk about today is non-present fathers. You might have had your father in the home. You might not have really been present. Might have worked a lot. Might have not had time for you. Might have chose not to have time for you. So it might have not been in your life at all. And most of us have done this. I mean, I've even done this with my own son. So I'm not subject to that either. I mean, I've been there also. I've been a piece of shit. Been a piece of shit father too. You know what I'm saying? So we all can be at times, right? I mean, we're never perfect, but a boy or a daughter need their father, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and say it now, and I've said this on here before. A baby needs their mom. A baby needs their mother, right? There's things that a fucking mother can do that we cannot do for babies, obviously, right? So they need that. They need that care and compassion and all that extra love and stuff like that. But when they become children, the father is the most important. The father is the most important in a child's life, in a daughter's or a son's. Now, I have sons, so obviously I'm real big on the son thing, but how is a boy going to know what type of man to be if he doesn't have a father in his life? And how is a girl, how is she going to know what type of man to marry? She's probably going to marry someone like her father. So, men out there, check yourselves, right? Would you want think to yourself, that's perfect right there. Would you want your daughter to marry you? If you have a daughter, would you want her to marry a motherfucker like you? And that's your answer. Need to go no further, right? I don't have any daughters, but so that's a good question to ask yourself. If you have daughters, I'd say, hey, would you want your daughter to marry a man like you? Or if you have sons, would you want your sons to be a man like you, right? So I want my sons to be a man like me, yes. But I want my sons to be better than me, obviously, right? I want to be better than me, but I definitely hope they're a lot like me in a lot of ways. I mean, there's things that I don't like about myself, right, that I'm working on that I hope they don't get, but they probably will. And that's where we're talking about the father wound, right? And that's where these father wounds, when the father's not present or the father's not involved in the son's lives, that's where all boys, when they lack confidence, when they're not confident in themselves, when they are little assholes all the time, you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta be put in your place. I mean, a young man has to know the power he has and that, to not abuse that power, right? And that's where you get all these toxic little bitch boys, as I like to call them, little boys running around here, little dickheads, you know what I'm saying? Most of them probably never had a father in their life that taught them what it means to be a man, you know what I mean? Obviously, so that's there. But this father gap, this father wound that we're talking about, dude, it leaves a hole inside a boy's heart, all right? And that is where demons come in, gentlemen, right? That's where all these demons come in. The drugs, the depression, the anger, the anxiety issues, all that. That's where it all comes in. It all stems from the father. And this father wound, or the absent father, or the not present father, or just not there at all fucking father. And that's what this is all about on this channel, right? Men of action. That's what this is about. Taking action. Learning from our mistakes. Learning from our parents' mistakes, right? That's why we always say, oh, you act just like your father, right? No shit. That's the one that you were around. That's what you've seen. So you're going to act just like that. So my sons are going to what? They're going to act just like me. Holy moly. Whew, let me think on that for a minute. Parts of me, do I want them to act like? Absolutely. Parts of them, do I want them not to act like? Absolutely. But guess what? They're going to act like all that shit because they see all that shit. And that's what I'm talking about. So we got to have that on our minds constantly, man. If you're a father and the husband, obviously, But if you're a father, we're talking about being a father right now. You have to have that on your mind. What am I saying in front of my sons? What am I showing them? Right? Because that's what it's all about. Yeah, you can talk about it all day, but what are you actually showing them? What are they seeing out of you? Are they seeing you treating their mother with love and respect and admiration. Like I've said on here before, like, you know, when I slap my wife on the ass, for instance, right? My sons go, ooh, they don't want to see that, but they know I love their mom, right? So I slap her on the ass. I'll slap her on the ass in front of them. And they get that little thing, but I know deep down they love it. They know that I love their mother, right? I'm gonna slap her on the ass, tell her I love her in front of them, whatever. And that's just a little thing. I'm not saying that means I love her because I slap her on the ass, but you know what I'm saying? We got to show our sons, we got to show our daughters what a real man is. Again, that's a leader, protector, and provider. It's being selfless. And that's where this comes into play again. The 5 essentials that every boy needs to learn in order to become a real man, right? And they're right here. I'll say them again. We've said them on here numerous times. So I'd write it down and take fucking notes on this, gentlemen. 1, life is hard. Every boy needs to learn that life is hard. 2, you are not that important. 3, your life is not about you. Number 4, you are not in control. And number 5, you are going to die. These are all facts, gentlemen. These are all facts. And us as men need to teach our children these things, right? Maybe, you know, depending on their age, obviously. You just don't want to come in here and be like, oh, you're going to die, da-da-da-da-da. But boys aren't grown. Boys are made, man. Or men, I'm sorry. Men aren't grown. Men are made. There's plenty of 70, 80-year-old little boys walking around this motherfucking earth. I promise you that right now. And most of them, if any of them probably didn't have fathers in their lives, probably had an absent father, a not there father, right? They might have been in the home, but they weren't there. They didn't fucking care. Or they just didn't know what they didn't know. And that's what this comes all back to. You don't know what you don't know. Well, guess what, gentlemen? Now you motherfucking know, because I just told your ass. Don't leave these wounds on your kids. Don't be the one. Sins of the father, as they say, right? You know, you all talk about sins of the father and stuff like that. What we do, we are going to show to our children. That's what this comes down to. And we have to show them the right way. Let's teach them, man. Let's teach our sons to be the leaders, protectors, and providers. To know that it ain't about you. And you are not that special. But we also need to teach our sons that they are loved. That we appreciate them. That we admire them. Spend time with them. Talk to them. Keep an eye on what they're watching on TV, on the computers. It's on us. Accept full responsibility. It's not going to be easy. It's never easy. Life's not easy, right? Life is hard. It's one of the 5 essentials we just talked about there. So get over it now and realize every day there's going to be struggles every day. But we need to teach our boys. We need to teach our daughters as well, right? I'm talking about men in here, but I mean this goes into play with the daughters as well. The society is in trouble, but we can change it all, gentlemen. But don't be the one. Don't be the one. Because there's too many young men out here that don't have a fucking clue and are lost because they don't have a fucking single man, not even their father, not a grandfather, not an uncle, not a motherfucker at all, that's willing to show them how to be a man and step up and accept responsibility for that. It's all hard. Who gives a fuck? It's all hard. It's on us. We got to teach these young boys to be men. I hope you guys are taking this seriously, man. Because I fucking do. Trust me, I've not been a good father, right? Sometimes I still do things. Sometimes I still say things, and I'm like, son of a bitch, man. But we got to do, what we have to do for that, though, is we have to stop right there. We have to move on and just do better. And not beat ourselves up too much. Because there ain't no point in beating yourself up. That ain't going to do no good. Move on and do better, right? Every day's day one, like they say. So let's step up and let's be those men for our families and for our communities, gentlemen, because we need it more than ever. We can change, right? It's basically a vicious cycle. Everything keeps happening over and over. Our fathers' sins, whatever, passed on from their fathers, grandfather's sins, and not even sins, just the way they acted, the way they lived their lives, right? It just keeps going on and on and on. Well, it's time for that to change, and it can all stop right here. We can be that change. We can change these generational curses, as they call them, and whatnot. But we got to be willing to step up and take fucking action and be a man of action. We can sit on this motherfucker just like in the men's groups, I say. We can sit here and talk about it till we're blue in the fucking face. But are we putting into work? Just like you can go to church on Sunday, we can talk about God, we can talk about Jesus, but are you going out there and putting into work? And what does that mean? Going out there and serving others, being selfless. That's what it's all about. Being men of action. Going out there and fucking doing it. Being it. Because if I can, I know you motherfuckers can. Because I know I'm not special. So how about you? Are you ready to step up to the call? It could all change, gentlemen. It's time to change. Let's do it here. The men's movement begins here, baby. And we're going to do this together, all right? So I hope you guys have a great motherfucking, was it Tuesday? Let's get the fuck up. Let's get the fuck after. You know how we do it. We delay that gratification. Thank God for another day. How lucky, baby. We get to do it all again today. So let's get the fuck up. Let's get the fuck after it. Cheers. Now go get you some, baby. Have a great day, guys. Peace. Go get you some. Ha!